The error in Tableau where data sources that contain logical tables cannot be used is pretty annoying because I'm finding it whenever I'm trying to use a blend on the fly whenever I'm building out a worksheet. There was a point in time wherever I was really fluent in Tableau, and then I switched roles to a department that used Power BI, and now I'm back in Tableau. And since then, they introduced something called relationships and that whole logical table idea that I didn't quite follow until I went down this rabbit hole. So logical tables are basically what Tableau creates on your behalf whenever you build out a relationship, which is that first screen whenever you try to connect different data sources inside of Tableau. So let's look at one here in this sample superstore thing from Tableau. These lines are called noodles, and that's an indication of a relationship. So this becomes a logical table. So I'm in the fake superstore Tableau dashboard, and we're looking at quota attainment worksheet, and it is based on the sales commission data source. It's got that blue check mark. So I'm going to edit data source. It's just a CSV file called sales commission. Now let's say for whatever reason that would not happen in real life, I would want to combine with this sample superstore's data source, and Tableau in its infinite wisdom has decided order date would be a possibility for a blend, and I'm going to agree. So let's hit order date and the infinity paperclip looking symbol. And now Sample Superstore has the orange check mark, which indicates a secondary data source. So we talked about logical, now we have a secondary data source. And now let's pull something in. So regional manager would make sense on salesperson. And then now we're seeing that stinking error. Data sources that contain logical tables cannot be used as secondary data sources for data blending. Thank you for telling me that after I go to use it instead of whenever I do the connection. So fine. Let's undo all the things here. Unblend. And so now we're back to just sales commission. But to fix this error, all we have to do is edit the data source. And I'm going to add in that data source from the sample superstore, which is in this case an Excel file. Double click, and now it brings it in as an option. I'm going to just pull in people, and then Tableau is going to build an automated relationship between the two tables. So we're going to assume that Tableau in its infinite wisdom is correct and go back to quota attainment. And now we don't need a blend. We've got the component that we would want from that regional manager. So let's throw it in and see what happens. Boom. We just had to change the join. So in the situations at work where I've had to do this thing where I'm changing up the joins, I was able to actually get rid of a data source by doing this and building out joins in a different way. Now, the cool thing about using the relationships is that Tableau is trying to make sure you don't end up with duplicated data from a bad join build or anything like that. But if you wanted to build a join, that would take it from a logical table to a physical table where each of the rows would literally be associated instead of some Tableau magic working for you like the relationships do. So if you didn't want to build this way, you can just actually bring in, you can double click on a logical table, and then you can actually build out joins in a more traditional way inside of this physical layer canvas and build out however you need to. And then use this X, and that'll bring you back to your relationship and physical layer. And you'll see that it didn't cause an error even though I left regional manager because it changed out that regional for me here. But it did give the name regional manager 1. So relationships, joins, blends, if that's still a nebulous concept and you find yourself trying to troubleshoot joins and combining data regularly, you'll want to check out the link in the description below where I dive into that in a blog article that's pros, cons, nuances, and everything in between.